Hi Grant, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So my name's Amanda. We're going to be talking about some health education today. Um, how's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great. Um, so it's around the holidays. Do you have any family coming into town or?
Family from Ohio and Pittsburgh are here.
Okay, that's nice. Are they staying with you?
Staying with relatives of mine in town.
Okay. Are you from here or?
I'm from here originally, yes.
Yes, but you don't live here anymore?
Mm-mm.
Okay, where do you live?
I live in Champaign now.
Oh, so not too far.
An hour and a half, not too bad.
Okay, no, not bad at all. So, you're staying here in Peoria locally for the holidays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's nice. Are you guys getting together for Thanksgiving and?
Got together for Thanksgiving, getting together, getting Christmas done as well while they're in town so they don't have to make a trip back in a month.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Is there a lot of food around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food that you had?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Yeah, it's amazing. Do you guys homemade it or?
We got it at a local bakery here. It was probably better than if we homemade it.
Right. Yeah, and it's so much easier. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about it. That's awesome. So what brought you in today?
I just did my annual wellness exam for my health insurance and my cholesterol came back at 220, so I thought that's probably a little high according to my doctor, so I might want to get that down.
Okay. Um, do you mind if I take notes?
That's fine.
Okay. So what do you want to get from this session? What's your overall goal?
Better understanding of cholesterol and what I can do to control it and get it down.
Okay. And that's definitely something that we're going to touch on throughout this session. So hopefully at the end you'll be able to say that you do understand it and you can feel like you're in control of it. So I'm going to just go over a little overview of what we're going to do today. So we're going to talk about your diet, your habits, some of your environmental aspects and factors so that I can get to know a little bit more about you and your choices and things like that. And then I'm going to provide some education about cholesterol and how to lower it. And then hopefully towards the end we'll be able to come up with a goal that's right for you and that fits into your lifestyle. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So first I'm going to gather some data, So how old are you, Grant?
25.
25. Do you know your height?
5'8".
Do you know your weight?
200.
All right. So obviously you had blood work done recently for this wellness test. Were there any other numbers that you thought were
They
off?
checked my blood pressure and my blood sugar. I don't remember the exact numbers, but the doctor said that those were both in normal ranges and there was no concern there. The only number that was concerning was cholesterol. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So that's good. That's really good. Are you on any medications right now?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Do you have any family history that might be concerning for you?
Yes, my mother's side has a history of high cholesterol. My grandfather passed away of a heart attack, likely due to high cholesterol. My Uncle Pat is having a hard time keeping his cholesterol in check, so...
Okay. So now we're gonna do a little bit of a 24-hour diet recall. So you're gonna tell me what you ate throughout the day of a normal day. Definitely not Thanksgiving.
Bless
Oh,
you.
excuse me. All right. So you're gonna just pick a normal day. Work, school, whatever it is, and what the choices that you made for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Start wherever.
Average breakfast is some kind of protein bar. Normally it's a Luna bar. Not necessarily like a protein bar like what you'd have after a workout, but like a granola bar
Okay. Yeah.
kind of thing, just to have something to eat. I normally eat that at the office with 1 to 2 cups of coffee. Normally 2 cups of coffee. Occasionally I'll cut it down to 1.
Mm.
For lunch, I normally do a turkey sandwich, a peanut butter sandwich, or a tuna sandwich with normally some kind of potato chip or popcorn, something salty to munch on the side. And dinner normally is some type of meat with maybe sweet potato fries or potato on the side. Typically it's beef, whether it's a burger or tacos, something like that. Sometimes I'll have chicken breasts.
Do you have any snacks throughout the day, or?
Not a big snacker. If I do, I'll have a granola bar maybe mid-morning, mid-afternoon, just to start to kind of tide me over until my next meal. Sometimes I'll have candy on my desk and I'll munch on that, but not very often. Don't have much of a sweet tooth.
Okay. Anything for dessert, or?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And what type of, do you drink water throughout the day, or any other beverages?
Drink
or?
a lot of water throughout the day. Normally the only thing I drink in a given day is coffee and water.
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, and then normally I'll have 2 to 3 of my kind of bottle. It's about 16-ounce bottle of water every day. Try to stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's very important. Okay. So you mentioned that you had your breakfast at the office.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
you
normally have everything but dinner at the office. I'll have my breakfast there. I have my bars in the little employees only area, and then I'll have like stuff in the mini fridge there to make for lunch, like turkey or tuna.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I normally eat both those meals at the office, getting things ready or just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Quick little break for lunch.
Yeah. So, do you take a break for lunch, or do you usually like do your work as you eat? Or?
Normally like 15-20 minute break as I eat. Just sit there, kind of maybe read something.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy work-wise. It's tough to get much work done when you got food in your hands.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to go through and just kind of ask more specific questions about some of the foods that you ate. So your granola protein bar, you said usually you like Luna bars. Do you have 1 or 2 of those, or just 1?
Normally it's, depending on the day, it's sometimes 2, typically at least 1. Sometimes I'll have just 1, and then I'll save the other one for like 10 o'clock when I start getting hungry, and then it ties me over until lunch. Normally that's about how many I have of those, and then the 2 cups of coffee.
Okay. And your coffee, do you have it black or
Black.
clear? Okay. And for your lunch, you usually have like a turkey, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or tuna sandwich. Do you put anything on, like the turkey or the tuna?
Other than the peanut butter, I put typically mayo and mustard on the turkey and the tuna.
Okay. Just to give it some seasoning.
Yeah, give it some taste, some flavor.
And what type of bread do you
Whole.
have with those? Okay.
It's just what I've always had. No, wheat, not whole.
Wheat?
Wheat bread, sorry.
No, you're good. And then potato chips or popcorn. So just something like snacky, salty.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have, like, if I can find them, I'll have kitchen cooked potato chips. Those are my favorite. Nothing too crazy as far as seasoning goes, I don't think. It's just very simple. Popcorn is normally just microwavable. Something to add a little salty kind of crunch to the sandwich.
Right. So you like crunchy?
Crunchy and Normally salty.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go for salty than sweet any day.
Yeah. So then for dinner, you have a meat source, and then again, just something on the side, like a carb.
Normally a carb with some
Yeah.
kind of salt to it.
Okay. So for the meat, you either have burger, taco, chicken. For your burger, is it like a beef patty
Beef.
or okay? And then is that the same for taco meat?
Normally, I've thought about doing turkey meat, but haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay. And like for your, especially your burger and your chicken, how do you usually cook those? Like, is it?
Normally, it's just in a pan. If it's nice outside, I'll grill the burgers outside.
Okay. And do you season those with anything?
Normally, I do like garlic salt and pepper. Sometimes, if I'm wanting to get fancy, or if it's like if I'm grilling out steak or something like that, I'll get a little bit fancier with the seasoning. But those two are usually the main go-tos.
Okay. And then you're definitely drinking enough water throughout the day, so that's good. Awesome. All right, so this is your typical day, and you said, you're at the office a lot. So what do you do?
I'm a financial advisor.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sure you are, in your office, sitting down on the computer a lot. When you meet with clients, are you at the office, or do you go out with them?
I'm normally at the office. I'd say 90% of my 90 to 95% of my meetings are at the office. Occasionally 5 to 10% I'll go to the client and meet with them in their home.
Okay, awesome. All right, so thinking about what we just talked about, your diet recall, just your average day foods. So thinking back to that, what is something that you would like to change about your diet?
Probably less red meat would be healthy, but I like red meat, so that's a toughie. More veggies and fruit. I used to have smoothies all the time, and that was a pretty easy way to get those, but I've stopped that.
Is there a certain reason you stopped that time, or?
Initially, it was that I didn't have time in the morning, and I didn't want to have a smoothie at night. So, but just fell out of the habit, I guess.
Yeah, life just has a way of taking over sometimes. So, kind of going off of that, what are some things that you would like to improve about your diet?
Improve.
So, like, you would like to improve your diet by having less red meat, those fruits and veggies.
Less red meat, more fruits and veggies. That's basically it. I mean,
okay.
Maybe a little less red meat, some more veggies is really all.
Yeah. I know you didn't mention it in here, but do you ever eat out?
Yes, quite a bit. That would be a good thing to change too. I normally eat out maybe 3-4 nights a week.
Okay.
And eat out, I mean like either picking up Taco Bell or like McDonald's, and sometimes going to the actual restaurant and sitting down at places like Chili's. But so eating out less would probably be good, to be able to cook at home more, know what I'm actually eating, as opposed to just ordering something off the menu without really knowing what's in it or what the actual impact is on my diet.
Right, yeah. Because sometimes, I mean, it's definitely a new trend right now that a lot of restaurants have their nutrition facts, you can ask for it. So do you like to eat out, or is that something that...
It's more simplicity. It's more simplicity, and then I can, probably shouldn't do this, but I can answer my cravings a little bit better. I don't have to, if one day I want Mexican food, I can go out and get Mexican food, a lot simpler than going to the grocery store, getting the ingredients for Mexican food, taking it home and making it myself. It's just simpler.
Well, it's definitely something that we can talk about because if you enjoy going to restaurants and eating out and the experience, it's fun. It can be fun. There's definitely there are ways that we can look at a menu and be able to choose between two options and being able to decide which one is better for you based on how they cook it, what they add to it. So that's definitely something that we can talk about in one of our later sessions because you shouldn't have to compromise your entire diet.
I wouldn't mind going out only twice a week. It's just easy to go out, so it's kind of the default that always happens. And
sounds like you're busy, and it's
by the time
faster.
the end of the day rolls around, I normally am not. I'm pretty tired, so I don't feel to get up and go to cook. So it's easier to walk into a restaurant, be seated, and just order something.
Okay. So kind of a reverse thing, but also something that we touched on. What do you like about your diet and want to keep the same?
I like the flexibility that I can really eat just about anything that I want, which probably isn't a good thing. I like the simplicity of it. I like that I don't need to put too much effort into the things that I'm currently doing. Throughout the week, on weekdays, normally I'm very busy, so I don't really have the time to sit down and cook, or not sit down, but to actually cook a real meal. So throwing together a sandwich during lunch is pretty simple. If I've got leftovers, that's pretty simple. So I like the flexibility and simplicity of it.
So it sounds like you like more foods that are grab and go and just really easy. And
very few meals of the week do I like to actually sit down and enjoy a meal. Normally dinners I like to sit down and enjoy. I don't have anywhere that I have to be. I don't have anything hanging over my head that I have to do. I can normally just sit down with someone, my girlfriend or friend, and just sit there and enjoy a meal, or sit in front of the TV and relaxingly enjoy a meal.
Okay. When you do eat dinner, is it usually in front of the TV or?
Usually.
Okay. All right. So next thing we're going to talk about is getting back to cholesterol. So we're going to talk about some education and some tips on how to lower it. So have you heard of any tips on lowering cholesterol, like researched anything? Or?
Less red meat, more veggies, exercise, all around just improving your health and those kinds of ways.
Okay. That's head on, right on the spot. That's really good. I have this handout here for you that you can take home, but we're gonna go over it a little bit. Does that sound good? Okay. So you said one of your goals would be to understand cholesterol, like what it is. So on this handout, it's basically your body needs it, so it produces cholesterol on its own. But the other way that it can get higher or lower is by the foods that we eat, and based on how much cholesterol is in that. So cholesterol gets into our arteries and it can cause plaque buildup, which makes it harder for your blood to go through. So less oxygen, less blood flow everywhere. And some causes of high cholesterol could be, poor diet, your weight, physical activity. But those are definitely things that can be changed and maintained and altered. And hopefully that we can, improve upon. And things that we probably can't change, obviously, would be your age, your gender, and your heredity. And I know you talked about you have some concerns on your mom's side about high cholesterol. So, the first things first would be to change those diet and those physical activity habits, just overall healthier lifestyles. But then if that was still an issue, next step would be some medications. But we're not going to talk about that. We're here to talk about your diet and your physical activity. So do you do anything physically active? Do you work out or walk?
Yes, I take walks pretty regularly, probably 3 or 4 a week. And I just started doing CrossFit again, going to the gym in the mornings before going to work. That's 2 or 3 times a week. So a little bit of physical activity.
And how long do you work out for?
The CrossFit workouts are normally 45 minutes to an hour maybe. The walks are 20-30 minutes or so. Maybe a little longer if it's a nice night.
Okay. And do you have trails by your house that you like to walk on?
There's trails. I'll just walk through town. Just about anywhere.
Awesome. All right, so that's awesome that you're getting that physical activity in 2 or 3 times a week. Ideally, we like to do it 3 or 4 times, but it's up to you and your schedule, doing the best that you can. And your diet, we're gonna get a little more specific on that. You said you wanted to eat less red meats, and increase your fruits and vegetables. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
I should probably cut down on the salty foods I eat, but I like them, so that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. Okay, so have you heard of LDL and HDL when it comes to cholesterol? Okay, what do you know about them?
One of them's good, one of them's bad, and then when you add them together, you get the main number, I think.
Right, that's exactly right. So your HDL is your good, and that's what you want to be a little bit higher in comparison to your LDL, because LDL's purpose is to go through your body and deposit some cholesterol everywhere, and then HDL's job would be to go back through and get rid of that and filter it out. So they always want to be in balance, but you definitely want your HDL to be a little bit higher than that LDL. And what you were saying was exactly right. When you add these two together, you get your total cholesterol number, which is what you're concerned about, what you were telling me about. So we're going to talk about some ways to lower our cholesterol. So consuming a diet low in saturated and trans fat. Do you know what those are?
See them on the food labels. I don't know exactly what they are, but don't sound good. And heard from the news they're not good. So.
Right, yeah. That's exactly right. They're on the food labels. And, in the later session we can talk about how you can read those food labels and making sure you get the best product and the healthiest fats in them. As opposed to saturated and trans fat, you want to have more unsaturated fat. So that can either be mono unsaturated or poly unsaturated, and that's also right on the food label. So we can go through that and making sure that you're understanding, how to read those food labels and pick the best choice for you. So then one of the next options that I know that we kind of talked about would be choosing a lean cut of meat as opposed to, the red meats. Is there any other meats that you would be willing to try?
I like fish. I like salmon, tuna. I like chicken. I like turkey. I want to try bison. I've had bison before, but I just noticed it at the grocery store again. It's a little expensive, but looks like a healthy meat that would have similar texture and taste to beef. So.
Awesome. Have you ever tried a veggie burger?
I have. I used to like black burgers. I haven't had them in a very long time, but I've got a few in my freezer right now that I need to cook up.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to write those options on here so that when you go to the store, you can look around and see what you want to try. So another thing we talked about that you would like to do is increasing fruits and vegetables. What kinds of fruits and vegetables are your favorite?
I like bananas. Apples are good. Pineapples are good. Oranges are okay. Grapes are okay. Strawberries are good. I like most fruits. It just depends on when I get them, whether they're a little too ripe, a little too fresh, or kind of have a weird sweet spot when it comes to fruits that I like.
Yeah, and a lot of that is based on the seasonality. Do you ever buy certain fruits and vegetables that are in season as compared to if they're not? Do you know the chart? or anything?
Normally don't know. I normally, when I'm at the grocery store, I see some bananas, I'll buy some bananas, or I'll see some, I know when it's in season because there's normally more of them, but
Yeah, there's lots of online sources that you can look at the seasonality of fruits and vegetables. And when they're in season, they're going to be cheaper, they're going to taste better, and they're going to last longer. So that's definitely a good way to shop for produce. Are there any veggies that you like to eat?
don't mind broccoli, don't mind carrots. I wouldn't say there's any that I like to eat, but there's ones that I don't mind. Spinach is okay. Don't mind bell peppers, they're pretty good.
Okay. So when you cook your meat or whatever else that you cook in, do you usually use butter or any other
Ham
spray?
cooking oil usually.
Okay.
It's a butter flavored ham, but I normally use just Pam cooking oil.
Yeah, that's a good start. So one of the other ways that we can take out some of that cholesterol in our diet would be cooking with oils instead of solid fats. So not, using butter to grease the pan or adding butter, using oils instead, like olive oil. Do you use olive oil at all?
I have. I just haven't I ran out a little while ago, and I just haven't gotten anything new. Pam's good to spray on popcorn sometimes too.
Yeah.
So I've got both uses. Whereas olive oil, it just has the use of cooking really for me.
They actually, I saw in the grocery store recently that they have Pam that's spray olive oil. Yeah, so that could be something that you would be interested in. It's really easy, super easy. So increasing your fiber and your whole grains. So I know you talked about you have you eat wheat bread, whole wheat bread. That's really good. It's much more has much more fiber and nutrients than white bread. And do you like any cereals or oatmeal?
I like cereals. I don't eat it too often. I like what's that brand? Honey Bunches of Oats. I like those quite a bit. I like oatmeal every now and then.
Yeah, well, oatmeal definitely could be a source of fiber, and also certain brands of cereal. That's personally one of my favorites. I love cereal. So I have shredded wheat in the morning. That has a lot of fiber. Oatmeal has a lot of fiber, so that's good to eat. And also by increasing your fruits and vegetables, your fruits and veggies have so much fiber in them, especially on the outsides of them, the peels and things. So by increasing that, you're also going to increase that fiber significantly. So that's really good. And trying to be physically active about 3 to 4 days a week, 40 minutes. So I know when you work out at the gym, you said it's about 45 minutes to an hour, so that's awesome. And then you take walks. So you like to, get up and go. That's awesome.
Probably not as much as I should, but try to every now and then.
Yeah. It's a good step. It's a very good step. So I'm going to let you take this.
Okay.
All right. So, next
Thank
thing. No, yeah, no problem. So I know that was a lot of information. Looking at that pamphlet, your handout, do you have any questions?
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Suck it up and eat better.
So thinking back to the diet recall, your 24-hour, what And also things that we learned about. What would be one thing that you could see yourself trying and implementing into your lifestyle?
Eating turkey instead of beef for certain things, and substituting maybe a veggie burger once or twice a week.
Okay, so substituting
For
your
like
red
a
meat
dinner meal, yeah,
for
a red
some
meat.
leaner cuts. That's awesome. All right, so based on your choice, we're going to do a little activity to see how willing you are to implement that into your diet. And we're probably also going to come across some barriers that you have about doing that. So this is called a 0 to 10 scale. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not willing at all, 10 being very willing, how willing are you to eat leaner cuts of meat instead of the red meat?
7.
7, okay. So since you chose a 7, that's pretty high. Why didn't you choose 0? Like, what are some health benefits that you see?
I'd like to lose some weight, obviously to look better physically, but also from a health standpoint. I work in a business where over the years a lot of guys' health deteriorates pretty rapidly, and I don't want to be in that situation where something that I could have done years ago, I'm past the point of being able to fix it, and I've got to deal with even worse issues, so I just like to nip that in the butt now while I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is great motivation. So then, a 7, it's not quite a 10. So why didn't you choose a 10, being completely comfortable changing
Because I really like red meat.
it? Yeah.
It's probably the biggest staple in my diet is beef. Tastes good. Normally eat it around friends or loved ones, so
Yeah, it's just something that's around and...
it's a treat. I mean, I work pretty hard, so being able to eat what I want is kind of a nice treat instead of having to restrict myself.
Right, yeah. And there's no reason to completely cut out your red meats. You're more than welcome to have your red meats, once a week or so, but definitely trying to cut back a little bit. I don't like the word restrict. I don't like the word cut out, but definitely eat a little bit less of it because you can still enjoy it. You work hard, and if food is something that you like to reward yourself with, then every once in a while, by all means, So then, do you think that you have all the information that you need to make this change? So, when you go grocery shopping the next time, are you going to buy ground turkey or turkey patties? Or...
Probably ground turkey, just to give me... I mean, not that I can't make tacos out of turkey patties, but I can make tacos out of ground turkey, or I can make them into patties and have them as a burger, so...
Yeah, and I think tacos is a great idea because whenever I have ground turkey, I like to put that taco seasoning on it, and it just gives it a lot more flavor, and,
Put some avocado on it, which is supposed to be good.
Yes, that's very good. That's also a very good healthy fact. So then, do you have any just questions towards the end here? No? Okay.
That's everything.
That's great. So I think we did a good job working together to think of this goal of eating more lean meats, and you feel completely comfortable with implementing that in your diet. That's great. So just to summarize our session, we went over your diet, your habits, some of your environment, your work life, things like that. And we talked about, how to lower your cholesterol and fitting it into your lifestyle. And I think you're going to do a great job. It sounds like you're motivated. You want to be as healthy as you can while you're young, which is great. So thank you so much for coming in today and participating. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.